Hello YouTube and welcome to the channel. Now then, today's video is a very special one because we have got the latest offering by MN. It's the MN models MN98. It's basically a Defender, a limited edition Defender, but we'll get into that in a minute. Now this video has been sponsored by Banggood. They have sent me this truck for review, so big thumbs up to Banggood for supporting the channel. They've also provided me with some promotional codes which I will leave in the description below. And if you use one of these codes and you follow the link in the description, all my subscribers, if you want this truck, will get an extra 10% off. So big thank you to Banggood once again, and thank you for supporting my subscribers and giving us a bit of discount. Much appreciated. Now then, what is this a special edition of? Well, it's actually to commemorate the Camel trophy. I mean, I've got several bits and pieces of it, but if it's licensed or not I couldn't tell you, but it's actually a Camel trophy special edition. So we have a look on the back. There's a bit of blurb about the Camel trophy, etc., and a bit about the truck. I mean, it should be a fairly standard D99S with a few bells and whistles. Now, I'm also hoping that this will be the updated D99S with the updated bits and pieces, but we'll get into that in a minute. Well, as soon as I open the box I'll be able to tell you. Before we get into the box, I just wanted to broach your opinions on something. Now recently I've had a lot of positive feedback when I leave links for bargains, if you like, on eBay or Banggood and the like. I just wanted to know, basically, stick a comment in the comment section if you think I should make this a regular thing. If you think when I do a video I should list a few bargains that I think are floating around and the links to them. Like I say, if you think it's a good idea, leave a comment in the comment section and I'll make it happen for you guys. Right then, let's get into it. As ever on the channel, I've not opened this box, so if there's any nasty surprises inside, you guys and myself will be the first ones to see it. So I'm quite excited actually, because this is a new offering from MN models. Now, the only problem I've ever had, before we begin, it actually looks weathered on the packaging, so I'm hoping the body is as well. That'd be exciting if it is. So let's get into it. Okay then, so what do we get in the box? We get some stickers, we get some instructions, we get a battery charger. I'll come to that in a minute because this is one of the changes that they've made. You get a load of bits and pieces to finish off the body, like windscreen wipers, other bits and pieces. We get a 1200 milliamp hour lithium ion battery. Again, this is one of the changes that they've made. And we get the ubiquitous standard controller. Now, while we're on the subject of the controller, it is of course fully proportional, this, and we've got a little knob on the side that adjusts the steering trim. It does take 4 AA batteries, which you have to supply. So first impressions are, and you probably can't pick this up on the camera, but this has a matte yellow paint finish to it. It's got like a satin feel, and it's not like the standard yellow, the shiny gloss one. It's actually got some sort of paint covering on it. Now, one of the major differences is the inclusion of this light bar, and we'll stick the battery in it in a minute and see what it looks like. But you get that light bar, and obviously there's a special edition paint finish, which is the matte, and I think you get the uprated bits and pieces, and like I say, we'll go into that now. Now, the eagle-eyed MN fans out there will notice that they've started to change over the battery connectors to this 3-pin affair. There used to be like this WPL one with sort of a balanced charger to charge it, and a sort of 2-pin power plug for the truck. And now they're all swapping them over to this 3-pin effort, and obviously you get a corresponding charger for it. So unfortunately, if you've got a load of MN batteries and you're thinking of, oh, you've got a load of batteries, I'll buy this and take it out, well, you have to change all the connectors on them as well, unfortunately, which, to be honest, it wouldn't be too much of a hassle. Now, one of the other major changes is they've got this uprated chassis, and I don't know if you can tell there, we've actually got two sets of holes, and if I grab an old one, you'll see what I mean. Now, I'm wondering if at some point, and this could be quite exciting, hold on, at some point they're going to stick a 2-speed in here, because if you modify one of these to accept the 2-speed, you have to move the motor up a few millimeters, about 10 millimeters in the frame. So like I say, they've actually got 2 sets of motor mounts here. So are MN planning to fit one of these with a 2-speed at some point, which would be absolutely fantastic, because that, to be honest, that's exactly what this thing needs. Now, another area where they've tried to improve the truck, and I can't see it on this particular one, is that the axles are starting to come through with these red ends on. Now, I've heard a rumour that these ones are a little bit stronger. Unfortunately, it appears that these have got the older black type ones, which I think, yes, I think they might have. But like I say, look out for the new MM and MNs coming through, because I think they've all started to come through with these red hexes. Okay, then let's try the lights. Transmitter is flashing. I've turned it on. Let's turn the truck on. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Oh, the side lights are on. Okay, we've got side lights. Let's check the indicators. There we go. Superb. Right, let's check the back. There we go. Back's working. I should have reversing lights, there you go, or brake lights. Seems a bit noisy, that does. Let's have a look. Spotlights aren't on though for some reason, and the headlights. Don't tell me they only come on with the throttle. Yes. Oh, well, that is a little bit disappointing, because that is one of my pet hates, that you have the lights only come on when you press the throttle, which makes it look a little bit toy grade, to be honest. But they are very bright. That's a very bright spotlight bar, but you could in fact wire them all up to these side lights here, so you can have them on permanently if you want, or better still, wire them up on a switch somewhere so you could actually turn them off, save your battery. But I would have liked to have seen the spotlights and the headlights on all the time. Anyway, enough waffle from me. What we really want to see is this thing running around, so I'll charge the battery up fully, I'll put the various bits and pieces on the body, and then we'll take it for a quick spin outside, see what she's like. Okay, back inside now. What do we think of the MN98 here? Well, we're not going to break with tradition. We'll have some bad points first. And the first bad point, and I've actually got a confession to make. Now, normally I wouldn't touch a vehicle when I was testing it for you guys. I would test it as is, but I just couldn't cope with this. The springs on the rear are far too soft. I mean, really soft. Even when it was sat on the desk when I was shooting the first part of the video, virtually half the suspension travel had gone. So I very cheekily put a set of MN45 rear springs on, which are a lot stiffer. I mean, it's a little bit too stiff now, but I just couldn't cope with it like that. I had to swap them. Whether or not I've got a bad one, whether or not we've got a particularly crap set of rear springs, I don't know. But that's one of the bad points, is the rear is far too soft. Now, like I say, it might have got a bad one, but I've virtually cured it by putting some MN45 springs on. But, and like I say, I wouldn't normally mess with something, but in the interest of honesty, I did swap them rear springs. The rear springs were far too soft. Next bad point, and this is a real bugbear of mine. I cannot abide the lights blinking on and off when you touch the throttle. I'm going to have to do something about it. It's just one of my pet hates. I don't know why MN persist with this. Everybody that you speak to feels the same way. It just looks a little bit toy grade, and I think basically ruins you know, what are a decent set of spotlights. I personally, I don't know if this is this particular example, but I personally don't think this is as peppy as my old MN98. It just felt a little bit sluggish out there. Now, it might be because I've been recently used to driving some quicker and bigger RCs, so whether or not it's my perception of it, I don't know, but it felt it was lacking slightly. But on the terrain you take it on, I mean, it's really a light to moderate trail truck, and on that terrain it's perfectly fine, but it does seem to lack a little bit of go. But and I must admit, I think halfway through it did begin to, well, maybe I got used to it, I don't know, but it did begin to seem as though it was picking up a little bit. Whether the motor had worn in a little bit, I don't know. But there you go. Not quite as peppy as I remember them being. Now, the fourth and last bad point is, if you are at all familiar with MNs, then you will know what I'm talking about. It's the fact that they are very top heavy on the trail. And one of the first things you should buy for an MN of any description is a set of wheel weights, because this makes a massive difference. It does rob it of a little bit of the performance, but you won't be picking it up off its side at half as much, to be honest. But so yeah, that's the fourth thing. A little bit top heavy, but that's easily sorted, to be honest. Now then, the good points. The first of which is this fantastic, and you probably can't see it on the camera, it probably doesn't do it justice, is this fantastic matte yellow paint that they've decided to apply. It really does look the business. I can't tell you how much I do actually like this paintwork. It suits the truck. It does look like a Camel trophy truck, as it's supposed to, so big thumbs up there. That, for me, that paint job there is a winner. And the stickers go on nice and easy as well. I was a bit worried about the fact that it was matte, but the stickers do seem to stick to it okay. I have taken them off the front accidentally when I shoved it in my bag, but apart from that, the stickers go on nice, even onto this matte paint. Now, another good thing about these things is, because they've been out for eons, is the fact that you've got an absolute plethora of upgrades and trick bits you can swap on these things. If you can think of it, you can swap it. Honestly, the choice is absolutely incredible. It will take a WPL 2-speed motor, which is amazing in these things. It really does transform them. But anything, if you wanted to buy a stock truck, keep it stock, just run it around the trails, you can do that. But if you wanted to make it into a bit more of a hardcore rock climber, etc., you can do it. There are all the bits available, and all spares as well. If you break something, there's loads of spares available. eBay, you name it, there's loads out there. And while I'm thinking about it, another good point of this truck is the battery life. The battery life is absolutely excellent on this. It's not very often I take a truck out to do some filming and the battery lasts the entire time I'm out. I couldn't tell you how long it lasts, because it basically never ran out. It must be at least 40 minutes of run time, and I'm not exaggerating there. I actually ran it on the car park for a little while, just to see if I could run the battery down, and in the end I just got bored and just shoved it back in my bag. But the battery life on this thing is absolutely epic. Right then, conclusion time. Would I recommend the MN98? Well, I am going to say yes, I would. I mean, these are being sold on Banggood at the moment. I think they're on a flash deal for 56 quid. They have got a battery deal as well on at the moment. I think it's 69 quid. So I think the 56 quid is about $75 and 69 quid is about $93. I mean, our American brethren probably can get it cheaper anyway. But if you bought the one with 3 batteries, bloody hell, you'd be out all day with it. So it does represent reasonable value for money, and it's no dearer or no cheaper than anything else in this sort of bracket, if you like. And they're quite a good little trail truck. I don't think you'd be disappointed. Like I say, light to moderate trail use. This is your man. So if you're in the market for a little trail truck and you fancy something that looks like Camel Trophy Defender, and while I'm sat here, I've just noticed that this is how they get away with licensing. That actually says Camel Trophy on the side of the door. So anyway, if you wanted a little trail truck and you wanted something that looks like a Camel Trophy Defender, you could do a lot worse basically than this. Big thank you to Banggood for sponsoring this video and sending me this truck for review. And don't forget, I will leave a promo code for you guys in the description. So if you want one, you can go onto Banggood's website and you can go and get 10% off courtesy of Banggood. So a big thank you to them and thank you for their support. Once again, if you found this video of some use and interest, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more similar future content.